I was like, look, I can't do this job anymore. I'm not being fulfilled. I'm not helping people the way I want to help people. I'm not being helped. And I was like, I'm going to go out and buy lawnmowers and weed eaters, and I'll cut grass before I do this again.
But do you think that, because before all this craziness, this being blindsided by a wife that walks in and says, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I know hindsight's 20/20. Were you happy before that happened in banking?
You know, I was getting to the point when that happened with my ex-wife and I was becoming unhappy. I'd kind of hit a point in my career. I felt like, you know, I'd learned so much. I was helping people. At this time, I'd moved from more of retail to commercial, and I was in commercial banking. So I started working with business owners in that $5 to $10 million range of securing SBA loans and financing commercial equipment, commercial property. And I like that. And that's what started up getting me kind of in tune with more of like real estate. But it felt like I was building a lot of relationships, but because we had such a narrow box that we were looking for in the lending side, I'd come out and meet Thomas, and we'd get to know each other. And, you know, we'd hit it off, and Thomas would want to go buy something, a piece of equipment. And, you know, lo and behold, I just couldn't help you. Maybe your DTI, your debt to income ratio was too high. Maybe your income was too low that year, or maybe it was seasonal, or maybe it didn't fit in the right box from a business perspective of what we were looking for. And then I was like, Thomas, I love you and I'd love to do business with you, man, but I can't help you. And then I found myself over and over and over. Well, then so I just was like, I want to help people. Sure. And so then the divorce happens. And then so all that kind of, this perfect storm just kind of happened. In 2016, I started listening to a podcast called BiggerPockets. Yeah. And love BiggerPockets. I mean, I have learned so much. I mean,
they do a good job.
Do a fantastic job. So during this time too, you know, again, had not accepted Christ into my life. I was divorced.
So let's go to this.
Yeah.
When did you find Jesus? Because that's a very, very important part of this whole story.
Yeah. Oh, huge part. Yeah. Huge part. In the end of 2015, we'll say the beginning of 16.
So all of this stuff is culminating. The divorce, getting out of banking, you have a 2015, 2016 is like a incredibly important time in your life from a tragedy standpoint to a redemptive standpoint. So tell me about like how you figured out that you needed Jesus.
The biggest. So I had, so I'm a reader. I love to read every night. And so it's pretty funny. Don't laugh. So, you know, from a tactical standpoint in the military, you see a lot of red lights. Yeah. So they do that because they're going in from a light room to a dark room or because it doesn't dilate your eyes. And so I love to read at night, and I started reading at night, and I'd have my nightstand on, and so I'd read, and I'd get tired of the book would hit me in the face, you know, but then I'd turn out my lamp and go to sleep, and I'd be wide awake because your eyes are dilating, you know. So I thought, it just dawned on me. I was like, from a tactical standpoint, they do that. So I went and got a camping light and put it on my head and turned the red light on, and I'd read with a red light on every night, and then I'd turn it off and be asleep in 2 seconds. I still do that today. Yeah.